possible disconnect and maybe a big waste of your taxpayer money when it comes to immigration enforcement. Following a report finding the DOJ is doling out tens of millions of dollars to sanctuary cities for the cost of jailing illegals. Let's talk about it with our power panel, conservative columnist and Fox News contributor Andrea Tintaros, AOL consumer advocate LaToya Drake, and Jamu Green, former president of the Women's Media Center and advisor to Senator Hillary Clinton. Welcome, ladies, to all of you.
Thanks for having us.
Hi. All right, Jamu, what do you make of the spending? We're sending this money through DOJ grants, apparently, to cities that welcome, illegals, don't necessarily enforce immigration laws. Good use of our money?
Well, I think, one, the reality is that we have a serious immigration problem, and the federal government has failed in coming up with a comprehensive immigration reform policy. That is something I hope that we can all agree. The federal government has to come in and stop states and local governments from having these different piecemeal legislation situations happen, like we saw in Arizona, like we're seeing. I wouldn't call them sanctuary cities, because the reality is there are 10 million plus immigrants here already. We're not going to be able to get them out in one fell swoop, and cities have to deal with those people. They have to deal with the resources that are that they have to expend to, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, and the federal government is responsible to step up and help with those resources.
But Andrea, could they get their attention by cutting off the money? If we want to talk about forcing states to get with the program.
Well, absolutely, and I disagree that the federal government has to come up with the money. The federal government is broke, everybody. Look, if you are a county or a city or a state that's going to pass a costly and crazy law that's going to deem it for example, a sanctuary city or a sanctuary county, you need to come up with the money to pay for it yourself. There's a current law in the books that makes it illegal to come here without papers. They have defied that law, and now they have to pay the price. Bottom line, if you can't afford to pass the crazy law, don't pass it and don't expect a bailout.
All right, let's shift on to our next subject, and this one has to do with Jen Sturger, Brett Favre, the NFL. Apparently, she and her attorneys have turned over significant new information to the NFL as of yesterday. LaToya, what do you make of how this is playing out? Very seamy, very sleazy.
Brett Favre went from being the iconic all-American good guy. We loved him. This is a man, his wife survived breast cancer. He plays the best game of his career the day after his father passes away. Maybe it is time for him to leave the league. No more flip-flopping. He's tarnished his reputation. His image is no longer the same. Maybe it's time for Brett Favre to say goodbye, kind of slip away.
Yeah, we know the allegations at this point. He has been mummed, so we're waiting to see how this plays out. But Jamu, you're calling for retirement as well, like a for real retirement?
A real retirement. I used to be the biggest fan of Brett Favre, but it is way past time for him to go. And I think this is a clear-cut case of sexual harassment. I feel very sorry for this young woman who went through this. Even if she was a contract employee, to have one of the most powerful people in the NFL sending her pictures and making those type of advances towards her that I can't even imagine. I've lost all respect for him. He needs to retire. I think one odd thing is his wife and this young woman look almost exactly alike to me.
That's kind of scary.
I think that's proof in and of itself.
I think the NFL is a private company. Let them handle it. They'll determine whether he's in the wrong or not. But you know what? Vikings fans, until last weekend, I think would have said, get out of here. He played the best game of his season last weekend. So maybe they're saying, hang on, are you sure you really want to go?
Yeah, any given Sunday. That's when they decide.
Right.
All right. LaToya, let me ask you about our last topic. Kim Kardashian. She is out now with credit cards through MasterCard for teenagers. There was a big event launching them. We understand there were high-priced cocktails, scantily clad dancers. I mean, this is for teenagers. This problem of debt, our country undeniably has an issue with this. Should we start young people down this path?
Right. Talk about the ultimate double standard. This is for 13-year-olds, kids as young as 13 years old. And we're talking about a woman who a couple of months ago spent about $100,000 on handbags in Paris. What is the message here? Put money on my card and then go blow it on accessories? I don't understand how they purport to teach kids how to manage money when their actions don't exactly line to financial credibility.
But it's a prepaid credit card. I mean, I'm not defending Kim Kardashian. I wish I could go spend that much money on a person.
Of course.
Hey, look, she did make the money fair and square, but she did it, she's famous for making a sex tape. That's how she got famous.
I think
she's
famous for turning around a really bad personal situation and becoming one of the most powerful people in Hollywood, and I think that is a great sign as a strong businesswoman to be able to do that.
For what?
And hopefully these teenagers that are going to get this card, that will help them start understanding money management a little bit better, that they're not going to be able to go and spend $30,000 on an outfit or something like she does because they don't have that money. But she does have that money.
But you have to know that the fee to use the card, to have the card, is $100 a year. So it's not free. You will be ponying up a little bit of money to keep up with the Kardashians. I know that was corny. Not to throw it out there, but it does cost.
Well, it's not as corny as her spelling MasterCard with a K in her tweet to tie in with the Kardashians. But I want to ask you, because you bring up a good point. I mean, she is known for getting started with a sex tape. Paris Hilton also known for getting started with a sex tape. But these are now multi-million-dollar businesswomen who have perfume lines and bags and shoes and TV shows. I mean, Andrea, is that the message that we want to send, that, yeah, it's good to turn around bad circumstances, but you put yourself in a sex tape to start with?
Right. It's not exactly the best glide path to success. But again, now she is making her money with their store in Soho and LA and Miami. So she is becoming more of a savvy businesswoman. I don't really agree with the way she started it.
All right, Jimmy, final word to you.
I don't think she wanted that tape to be out there, and what she's been able to do to turn her life around, I think, is an inspirational story for young women out there who deal with these types of issues all the time. And to be able to have that turnaround story, that's the American dream. It's a good thing.
Bottom line, don't tape it. Ladies, can we agree on that?
From sex tape to $100,000 on shoes.
Wow. Don't tape it.
Country.
All right, coming up, a 13-year-old boy just wanted